everyone. Welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Films. Dear ma'am, it's a great privilege to have you here on this occasion with us. We are a group of English literature enthusiasts, mainly students and teachers who are greatly interested in all the other disciplines, other humanities, art. I run an institute at Trivandrum where I teach students in English literature for various exams. And Mr. Anand Haridas has been conducting a film appreciation course for our students here. And it is the 6th episode. Is it, Anand?
This is 6th.
Yes. We have students from across India. And we hope that these talks will inspire students to do more regarding films and try out their careers in films even. So welcome once again.
Thank you, Dr. Kalyani. Piloo, welcome once again to this series. It's called the Let's Talk Film, where we engage with the people who are associated with films and related art forms, so that our students can get an insight into how this art is evolving. So you are a special guest for us on this episode 6 because you carry a very rich legacy, and your experience as a creative artist is spread over a variety of departments. You started as a singer, where you have carved a niche for yourself, and now you're an actor with many notable roles in your bag already. So let's start this conversation with your sharing your experience on how this transition worked.
So I was born into a family where my mother and my mother's mother, they are completely artists. They are like full-fledged artists, and though they were probably not, like a big at that time the showbiz was not like today's time also, but it was like by the genetically I got it, and then I grew up in an environment where we all grew up normally going to school, giving exams, striving for good results. Incidentally, my father happens to be, he was from the corporate world, but he appreciated arts. He can sing well, and I mean he had that thing in him, in a different package of, but he is a corporate person, and he was one of the Presidency College English honors students at that time. He had graduated, so his English was very good, and so somehow I got that also, and I grew up very normally. But that music and these things were all around me. When I was in class grade fourth or fifth, I think my mother became an actor, and it was late for her also, but she stepped into that world at that time when I was 10 years old. And when I saw her movies, and then she regularly got into shootings and acting, full time. And also music was always there in the house. We used to keep having these sittings where people are coming, and the only thing that happens, we know, is when people come, after some time, the music will start, people will sing. My mother was at the harmonium always. So that sound, where I was growing up in my grandmother's house also, in the early morning, small little flats, government flat, but the two little rooms. But I remember the sound. It's still in my ears, that sound of Thumri my grandmother used to be, specializing in Thumri and Dadra, and she was Begum Akhtar's Guru Behan. I mean, she had learned from her also, and she used to sit and accompany her on stage on the Tanpura. So all those stories and that whole environment, I think, uh, brings in a natural something within you, which is, you are not doing something by thinking and strategizing that, oh, I will become an actor. So when people ask me, what you want, usual question that everybody faces when they're growing up, bade hoke kya banoge? What do you want to become when you grow up? Strangely, we never hear this question from anyone. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be is what we hear. So certain kind of a like what, but and of course, it didn't struck me also, this question. Much later with introspection, this occurred to me that we never heard a question called, who do you want to be, So the artist is within, and the form where you kind of excel, or on the court, what you do with your art is something that happens later on in life. So I was always singing because mother is singing, home there is singing. When I went to Jadavpur University to do economics honors in Kolkata, uh, I eventually, school, I was always singing, taking part. And then in the first row, always, doing this cultural activities, all annual days and foundation day, founders day. And then when I went to college, university, I started taking interest in drama because we had a very active political environment in West Bengal. So the Jadavpur University had this, students' political wing. So we used to do street theater. They used to do, and I merged with them, and I started doing theater with them, and I enjoyed. I saw that I used to bunk my economics classes and then do my, run for rehearsals. So that more attracted to rehearsals. I got a first class in my graduation that I managed by studying hard and all. I'm a hard worker. But my soul was with, running to rehearsals and trying to do those things. I used to feel happy doing that. And yeah, the studies I used to do because of my strong suit called, no, I have to do this. This perfectionist. But my soul was always attracted to rehearsals and, spending time with theater people. So that way, one thing, Anand, I never saw. I probably it will help a lot of people who are striving for arts. That I never had this. You can say people will say ambition and not ambitious in bit somewhere in between. I can't say I was not ambitious or I had dreams or I had but I was not very forceful, aggressive about my ambition. I was somewhere in between trying to just be enjoy the moment and do what is coming to me. It could, my mother used to say, don't do this, there's too much of this happening. In school she used to say, not in college anymore, but hey, you are doing too many things, either do music or you do this. So I used to hear it, a jack of all trades, master of none, aisa ho jayega, waisa ho jayega. So those things used to be somewhere in the background, but I never bothered. I said, let's do it, just enjoy. And I learned. I started taking classes little bit. I used to do classes and also learn. Have my development part was on, not very seriously though, but I did. I used to always go to, because I saw that at home I can't learn because it's like ghar ki murgi. You've taken for granted. Mother is always there. She's always, so not learning from her properly. So I used to take formal classes outside my house. I used to go for my music class. थर्सडेज को मैं जाती थी म्यूजिक क्लास में. वो सब मैं, आई हैव डन ऑल दैट. एंड देन व्हेन आई started, I graduated after the economics. I had started doing plays with them, and then I started singing on stage concerts, little bit with my. I made a group, met some people who was, so I kind of got merged into a circle of musicians, and I started doing some shows. Then, couple of years down the line, I did my first job with the Times of India. I became an RJ. So that also was I. So basically, I always wanted music around me. Whatever came on my plate, I took it. But that was a beautiful part of life when I was for 7 years working with Times of India. And I was an associate producer, come RJ, come everything. And so writing. And then I realized during my Times of India days that I like to write because it, before that it was only English literature and English papers where I used to get to write. Only in my school, papers where you write reference to the context and pressy writing. So there I used to get an opportunity to write, but that was not really the whole of it. But what I really could write, through music, I used to write those scripts. Or when I used to do my shows, I used to write my scripts and then present the music. So I saw that I love to write also. So all these things combined together, I realized that I think I'm an artist. I will not put myself in a niche called I'm an actor or a singer. Yes, that is primarily what comes in front. So I think parallelly I did both, and in my own way I did it. And when I came down to, I did albums from 1990, 91. I started doing in Bengal. I did albums. But that time it was cassettes and then CDs came. So I did a little bit of cassettes and some albums in Bengali. And then I got married, and then I came to Mumbai in '99, and then somewhere my son was born within a year, and then Mowgli, as we lovingly call him, Arth Vidyarthi. Mowgli was the apple of my eye, and Mowgli, I was all around Mowgli. So I used to do work with children then, so that Mowgli is around and I can be with music and my child. So I, strategized and I developed a children's group where I used to work with kids and teach them, and then, so the music was alive like that. I used to teach them theater, little bit of drama, do little plays, short plays in the birthdays. So somehow I kept in touch. 2014, I got into, I don't know how actually, I had done a portfolio, as people used to tell me, do a portfolio like a picture, series. So I did a picture series with my former husband, Ashish. He had helped me in, I mean, he gave me that idea because I had no idea. So he said, "Oh, you want to do a portfolio? Okay, let's call Boman Irani," because Boman Irani was just at the juncture of, if people don't know, he was an ace photographer. He was an amazing, he was known as a uh, photographer. But that was the time he was moving into, I think 2008, around 2008, he was moving into films. Munna Bhai was happening. So I was the last person whose photographs he clicked, the last portfolio that Bowman did. And then I had sent out the pictures to production houses, cast. One day in 2014, I got a call and I did not say yes, but the destiny was destined to happen. And they just wanted me to do this show called Suhani Si Ek Ladki on Star Plus. And I had given an audition, but very casually, I never thought I'll get it. Or so I never went after anything like, I have to get this or I want this. I let it be. And then they called me and then they signed me up. And I said, I don't think I can do this because it's too much of time every day going to, shoot 20 days a month. I've never done this. They said, no, nothing will happen. Just joy. Let's see. You'll enjoy it. So I did that show for 3 years, 2014 to 2017. I was, and still today, though my other work is out in the platforms and all, but mostly the mass, wherever I go, they say we have seen you, and they talk about that one show, Suhani Si Ek Ladki. Yes, because I was there for 3 years on, I think, households. Uh, so that's how it started, and then it continued now. Now,
Yeah. So, it's just a long journey that you have made from
quite long.
Bengal to Mumbai. But then my question is like, you carry the rich legacy of Bangla visual media because as you have said in the beginning, your mom has been your mom and grandma. I never knew about your grandma's
Yeah.
association with Dumri or the classical music. That's amazing. I've met your mother, Shantala Barua. She is the most recognizable face in Bangla visual media, whom we call Devi Di. So she has always been there in your life right from the beginning. So did she influence your acting style or acting when you became an actor?
No, this is very interesting. I love to answer this because nobody has asked me this. I think it's been on my mind. Uh, in fact, she's here right now. She's just landed in Bombay
Oh,
yesterday. They are sleeping now. I told them that I'll show them the show later. So my mother and my aunt is visiting. So she never in her acting wise, so acting I discovered. I think the actor in me is me, the real me who is very vulnerable, and I teach acting now. I do workshops wherever people call me for some sessions and all. But when I teach acting, it's not theory. It's more of what I am strong in and what I know that I can teach is the vulnerability of of the soul, the self, because mostly people want to know how to be confident in front of the camera, or uh, how to be. So what I teach them, where I come from, is that how can you just be yourself, and you know how can you interpret these lines in just the way you would want it to, and then somebody may give a direction to you. But how would you sing it first, this song given to you? Okay, sing it. So in music also the same thing. So I think my mother did not influence me as an actor at all, because when she was acting, I used to sometimes go from school to pick her up from shootings, but I was never attracted to that whole setup, the scenario. I never connected with it at that time. But what I discovered about acting is, yes, the actor in her, I used to see her films, and that time I used to like because today when I have conversations with her and we have discussions sometimes, and she's appreciated my work always immensely when she's seen Suhani Si Ek Ladki, and when she has seen, and she tells me that you are very natural, you're very normal, and she in fact she has told me that uh, I am trying nowadays also. She has been working in lately and also in some shows and all. So she tells me that, I am trying to follow somewhere. I kind of follow how you all are so naturally, and all the platforms that she sees now, OTT work. She says that people are very natural and there's no acting happening. Like when the camera, you could start action and then you start putting on an act. So she's somewhere figuring that out, and she shares with me that, you are very natural. It's and we get I mean, I start crying when I sometimes see your scenes. This movie that just released, Akeli. She was very happy about it, emotional and happy about it, because she said that those scenes were amazing. It was so natural, so natural. It didn't appear that, it's like she's coming into the scene and doing it. So I think that happened, that I evolved as an actor. Acting was there in me because genetically it was there. But the expression that I bring in is, I just bring in who am I, how I would feel that, those things. So I get into the feeling of exactly how I would feel about it, not what. And then I interact with the director, and mostly we are on the same page. I've seen that mostly little bit of, maybe tweaking here and there, and you would add on a little bit of salt and sugar. So, let's do it slightly this way. But the basic is very aligned, and we land up on the same page, because I completely feel how I would have wanted to, you know, in that situation, how I would feel it, how I would be. So I get into that completely, because similar in all stories, whatever you're enacting, something similar has happened in your life somewhere. Maybe not the same thing, but the contextually something similar has happened. So if you just get into that zone of, how you felt it when this kind of a thing happened to you, that hurt happened to you, or that insult happened to you, or that controversy happened in your life. Those situations, ample situations we all have in our lives. So you just connect with that and interpret those lines. So you perform naturally. And that's the, strength that I have. And I think, so I don't think I have gotten influence, but musically, yes, she has influenced me a lot, because when the childhood years, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, that radio in the morning, early 7 o'clock in the morning, I used to just go and lie down one more round on her bed, and behind her head, there was this radio. So 7 o'clock sharp, that radio used to start. And so that sound of the radio, that music, radio running in the house, and those musically lot of influence. And she had this habit of doing classical notations. So she had this habit of just giving the sargam, the notations of a line, and I just somewhere picked that up, and with learning, I became much better with it. But those things musically, a lot of influence from that, my mother and grandmother, a lot.
Yeah. But then it's very interesting when you say that you are a very intuitive actor, or you respond naturally to your acting careers, because I'm asking this particularly because we need to talk about your Baba, Rajat Barua, who, as you said, he is one of the first graduates in English honors from the Presidency College in Kolkata, and a student of the first batch of IAM in Joka, Kolkata.
Yeah. Very
So, uh,
suave. He's got that yank, and he would.
yeah,
You have met
he's got that perfect English, and he is one of the first corporate trained person. And your former partner, Piloo Vidyarthi, one of the most celebrated actors in India, he's also a trained method actor.
Yeah.
and you have nurtured yourself in such a creatively vibrant space, and then you are explaining this. When you are explaining this thing, it's very interesting, that you are very intuitive. At the same time, you have around you people who are very formally and methodically trained to be an actor or an artist.
With Ashish, it was very interesting because he's and I are very different intuitively. He is jumpy and he though I don't know what's going on inside, but he would not go inside only ever because he would just keep himself here, and jump around and then deliver because he's here very clear what he wants to deliver. So he's completely mapped and planned and amazing performances he can deliver with that. And for me, I am not here. I'm mostly so I take time. I mean, I just if I have a big scene, I will just go off and just be with myself. And I talk to people, but and I don't talk much. I just stay away and I'm on my own. So I need to go in. And so with Ashish, it was very interesting to watch his plays when Dayashankar. So I don't think I've ever missed any of the Shankar Ki Diary shows. All the shows I used to be there till about 2, 3 years back. I have been there in all the shows of the Shankar Ki Diary, working in the backstage. I mean, letting people in, all friends, whoever is coming in the audience, are taking care of them. At the same time, watching that play, it 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 somewhere subliminally it had worked. It has contributed to me. He's seeing him on stage. I'm not talking about films. Films is a different medium, but watching Ashish's play so many times, solo act play, that has impacted somewhere, you know, impacted my just journey a lot.
So
So
that's an amazing play also. Dashing
it's an
Diary.
amazing, it's an amazingly powerful.
Nadira Babarji is
Nadira
phenomenal.
Babbar's play, and he has. I mean, that's his play. I think that even Nadir Ajit, nobody that play would not happen with anyone else ever.
Yeah, true.
Even if he does not do it now, they will not give it away to anyone. That's his play. Nobody
It's
can do it.
totally his.
Yeah.
But then you have made Mumbai your home now, but still you have maintained a very strong and organic connection with your roots and Bangla culture, especially Bangla music. You just told us how about like how the music had played a very significant role in your formative years.
Yeah.
And I have heard you personally singing, mesmerizing the audience with your beautiful rendering of Bangla music. Even otherwise, Bengal is home for a wonderful repertoire of music, including the Ravindra Sangeet. So, like for us, the audience here, can you just render one of your Bangla songs?
Okay? So you want to hear Tagore song?
Oh, yeah, perfect.
So this I was just thinking, what should I? Because there's so many different cultures here. But I'm sure because that's the work I do in Bombay also. I in my head never put language or anything as a barrier because that real form of pure form of art, the truth. I sometimes message you also, Anand, that I have messaged you. Get me this song. Yeah, I want the lyrics of this song. So Tayam Tayam I had done with my choir group. I had taught them because I've always searched
Where Salil Chaudhary has used the same tune for Bangla and for Malayalam.
Malayalam, and there are many songs, and there's a time constraint in my life always I'm running, but I really love to think that I want to reach out everywhere. I want to touch this music, that music, and I like this amalgamation of people coming together and art forms coming together. So Tagore used to also the whole inspiration comes from there. It's not just that Rabindra Sangeet, those 2000 songs in a compilation, but it's that human being who's much more beyond and beyond. So he had gotten inspired by he used to travel so much. He had traveled in those days. So the Irish melodies, the Polish and so those melodies from where he used to think. So there's a song called Drink to My there's an Irish song from where he kind of got the tune, the flow of the song, and he wrote this song. This is called Bhanga Gan. In Rabindra Sangeet, in Tagore, there's a lot of adhyayas, a lot of chapters, where it's broken into sections. So this is got this is that song. So I'll just sing. It's a short. They are all short pieces. So I'll sing that for you. 1 second. I'll just get the. কতবার ভেবেছিনু আপনা ভুলিয়া তোমারো চরণে দিব হৃদয় খুলিয়া কতবার ভেবেছিনু আপনা ভুলিয়া চরণে ধরিয়া তব কহিব প্রকাশী চিরজন্ম সঙ্গপনে পুজিব একাকী ভেবেছিনু কোথায় তুমি স্বর্গের দেবতা কেমনে তোমারে কব প্রণয়ের কথা ভেবেছিনু মনে মনে দূরে দূরে থাকি গোপনে তোমারে সখা কত ভালোবাসি কেহ জানিবে না মোর গভীর প্রণয় কেহ দেখিবে না মোর অশ্রু বারিচয় আপনি আজিকে শুধাইছ আসি কেমনে তোমারে কব কত ভালোবাসি কতবার ভেবেছিনু আপনা ভুলিয়া তোমারো চরণে দিব হৃদয় খুলিয়া
Beautiful. This is the song inspired by the Irish tune.
Yeah, the Irish tune, Bring to My Life. That's a very beautiful song. आजकल YouTube में मिलता है. All the things are there. But the fact is that, how cultures and things, language is no barrier. So right now also I'm working with my friend together. He has a company, a group also. We do a lot of art forms work there, primarily music, but a lot of other things also, literature work like writing, so poetry, Hindi poetry, and so I bring in the Bengal there, and we did a children's workshop, so I'm good with kids, and they just loved me, and I love being with them. And I had when Mowgli was growing up, I had run this Chutit Patshala where I used to take this, things from you also, and so that was just keeping the language. So as you asked me that Bengal, my point is my soul has this calling to to do original work, to roots, and not from a point of being righteous about it that we are good, this is the Malayalam literature. I mean, I don't know the language, but I didn't have the time to learn. But I connect. I know, I try and somehow listen, and I love to connect with these forms. And so that's why when Mowgli was growing up, I knew that Bombay is a very different city, and it has got its beautiful things, everything I love. I want to stay in Bombay only. But my I can't lose myself, and my self is not just Bombay. My body, my physicality is in Bombay. My self is all over, and starting from Bengal and the richness of Bengal that's made me who I am. So I wanted the children around in Bombay who are half Bengalis or full Bengalis, but growing up here, parents are working here. I wanted them to just get the reality and the original language and the original forms of, the work, not just, and not imposing it on them. So I had started this Chutit Patshala where we used to just have two meetings in a month, but that space was fully just making sure that the language is right. If you're speaking Hindi, then speak correct, no, good Hindi. The pronunciation may be idhar udhar, but speak correct Hindi. speak correct English, speak correct Bangla. And not like pointing it out that you're not speaking it well or you're not doing it right, but just letting them know that this is it, oh, this is not this, this is this. So and the children actually got it. So now we are working with in November we did our first workshop which I curated. So I also curate. That's one of the things that I love doing. My friend they asks me a lot of times. Mostly I work on the curation. I curate things I make the show happen with like how to put where to put what music and what piece of literature can come here. Like so I curate and I write. So I designed a workshop called Stage and Harmonies. So Nita Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center in Bombay and MAC is now doing they have a curators team. They do a lot of artwork, cultural programs, and in the bigger auditorium, in the concert auditorium, they are ongoingly getting the Broadway shows. So I don't miss every single show. So I went for Sound of Music, a live. It was amazing. Then now Mamma Mia is happening, the entire ABBA musical. So I have already seen it twice. I'm again taking my mother on 25th. So these are the things that my mother is saying it's a lot of money. I said, listen, yes, it is money, but I don't buy things. I don't shop. I don't do anything I don't do to restaurants too much. Uh, but these are the things that I spend on because this is, my growth and my fulfillment. So I will see that show thrice if needed. I want to, I'll go. So I'm starting this children's choir practice now from the children's workshop that we have hosted. I I got some children who are coming to my house every Sunday now, and I'm doing choir work with them. So I'm teaching them how to sing together, and we are making a children's choir eventually. So these kind of things add to my nutrition, and Bangla is one of them that I talked to these children also. I told them that we will also learn a Bengali song. Now we are doing Hindi, we will also learn an Irish song. We'll sing a Czechoslovakian song. I know I used to be in choir long back in Kolkata in a choir. So I have these ensemble of songs. I said we will learn everything gradually, and you will see a Goan song, you know so that they have this, the barriers also break, that I can't do this, this is not me, this is not fixing a nail on the wall, I am a Bengali and then I am a Malayali and then so you can just broadening, opening up. And that's what I love to do. Next 10 years I think of my life I will spend in amalgamating, putting things together, and
Yeah, art can truly liberate people from the
yeah, yeah.
boundaries,
Yeah, and
break the borders.
art is very, very, very critical. Art can do magic. So music, that why I give my full credit of my acting also to my music. I'm not saying all actors will have to learn to know singing, but if they can experience and get into the depth of poetry and music, the literature, agar literature, they have a connect with literature in some form, reading, just that eventually will contribute a lot to the actor, because it makes you go in. It makes you go in yourself. You
That's very
really sit
important
down.
because
Very important. You can't sit down and say, okay, now let me introspect. That doesn't happen. To get into a zone of introspection, there's no human organ called mind. It's all thoughts. So to get into a zone of introspection also, some aid, so these things aid, like music. You just, keep the music going. You keep listening to music, read something, you know, find things. So searching, reading, and that helps you go in, and that makes you express. You become, your face shows that, because your mind has started thinking, that your face becomes more expressive. You're not trying to make a face and show anger, trying to be angry, just reading those dialogues. Because the human being has got depth, and that human being has, interpreting those lines. It makes a difference on this presence of your face on the screen also.
I'm sure all the participants might be smiling here because they're all literature students, and you have just now
Superb.
explained
Superb.
the
They're
need
lucky.
need to have literature in your life.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, let's go back in your career. Like you started, as you said, you started as an RJ in Times of India. So, how different was the experience in those times when you started your career compared to the RJ culture that we experience right now?
Yeah, actually, I just stepped out because that time the privatization of FM channels were happening, because we used to be in a time when government had outsourced 7 hours to Times of India, 2 hours to another private body, so called radio network. So Times FM 98.3 Times FM, which is Mirchi now. Times FM we had 7 hours. So see if I look back, the difference is in that whole rootedness, because taking a bus in the morning, early morning, and 7 o'clock was my first show. So 6 o'clock, 5:30, quarter to 6, out of the house, and taking a bus and going to All India Radio, which is a government owned. It's like All India Radio is the place of, it's carrying tradition. It's carrying, it's that whole building, that whole atmosphere. So environment makes a lot of impact difference. It creates an impact on you. So from a Times of India office, from a building, from you're going with your jhola of CDs and your bag, you're going walking into All India Radio every day, where you see dhoti kurta, they're having chai biscuit, and they're dhoti kurta news readers, and that environment, I think, makes you, grow and evolve, because you're not realizing then, but it leaves an impact on you. And sitting with them, their discipline is very different. Like the red light is on before, if your show is at 7, and if you are not inside the studio at 6:45, they are worried. But sometimes we were late and we used to rush at 6:55, rushing into the studio. So then they are like, their faces used to say that, what, you guys are so, like they used to think they are modern, they're from private radio, they are going to like Times FM. But then we merged with them, and then, we used to sit and have chai with them. And that creates a lot of difference. And then learning hands-on. So today there is like huge. They have got, every department has got a position. There is a RJ who's just coming to the microphone. Everything is on the RCS system. It's computerized. It's called RCS, which we were beginning to learn when it all stopped down. It's shut down. So RCS में बैठते हैं वो लोग, and it's all programmed. So they feed in the program, the songs, what they're going to play in that 1 hour, and it just comes one by one. So there's no production actually happening manually. Our times, it is one, like the marketing is selling ads, and in between songs the ads play. So if two ads play, or in some break there are five ads playing, there's a cue sheet that stays right on paper that we carry. The cue sheet, everything was on paper, then we had to sign and submit it. The cue sheet, uski filing hoti thi. So that cue sheet I have to follow. Now I am on the console, I have got the CDs, I am putting on the CDs with a production person assistant who is from my office, who's there. But next to me on my right hand side is a spool player, to where two small spools are there, and they are connected, and on those spools are advertisements that we are you queued up. So the minute your song finishes, you have to put that fader up where the spool plays. By chance, if you have put on a different spool, by chance, by mistake, because it's all manual, you may make a mistake. बाटा का ऐड जाना था, लेकिन आपने विको टर्मरिक लगा दिया, तो मार्केटिंग वाला, आप ऑफिस जाओगे, उसके बाद यू गो बैक टू ऑफिस, द मार्केटिंग गाय विल, he'll like fire in his eyes, and he'll say, you have killed my client, you have taken Vico turmeric, you're supposed to play Bata. So it's like you're so tatast, and you're always alert, at the same time you're creative, we have grown a lot at that, because tension is there, fear is they're like, galti to nahi ho jayega, but galti hoti nahi thi itni. So you are always, on the go. And then sometimes the production guy has gone to the loo. So I'm just coming in 2 minutes, but 2 minutes doesn't have, it's 5, 6 minutes. And then the ad break has come. So while playing the song, its fader is down, I'm quickly queuing up the ad so that he comes or not come. When the song finishes, I have to put the ad up. So the next 10 minutes, I'm getting ready, because by chance, if he's not coming. So it was very, you're always in action,
So this is a Bangla channel, right?
Bangla, but we used to have English, Hindi, and Bangla. I used to
You used to play English Bangla songs.
Bangla songs ke programs. We used to have Hindi programs, and we used to have English timeout shows also.
Do you used to sing also, or you just play the song?
No, we never sang like a singer over there, like not a singer. And at that time, actually, I was not even so, that time the main singers were in the, I was like on a second, you can say, they knew that yes, she sings, and they used to ask me to sing sometimes. So on these chat shows, these live telephone dial-in shows we used to have. People used to call in and say, ask for requests and dial-in shows. So when they're dialing in, we used to have a connection on the mic. We could hear the phone call. And then we used to talk to them. So sometimes they used to ask, why don't you sing these two lines for this
Because
song?
right now we got a request that for you to sing a Rabindra Sangeet, Amaro Parane Chaha Chai.
I can just sing two lines. I don't have the book with me, but my
You can
friend
just sing. You can
loves
just
it
sing
and
it.
it's his favorite song. So he always sings this song and asks me, and then he ends up singing. I end up listening because I have to have the lyrics. So it is a beautiful song. It says, Amaru poranu jaha chai, tumi tai, tumi tai go, amaru poranu jaha chai. তোমা ছাড়া আর এই জগতে মোর কেহ নাই, কেহ নাই গো, আমারও পরানো যাহা চায়।
Thank you. I think Princey Cha has a question, has some message for you. Princey, are you online?
Yes, sir. So,
Please.
ma'am, I have seen you making vlogs, and I really love them how you go to those unexplored places, those old kind of places in the cities that people don't know about, and then you do make the vlogs about them. So, could you please talk about them a little bit?
Actually, I don't know what you are exactly talking about because I don't have a plan when I go anywhere. Yes, what you're probably suggesting is that when I'm traveling, I just
Yeah.
I,
You go to some unexplored places or markets and you make your vlogs. I'm talking about your vlogs.
yeah, they are not very unexplored actually. It's basically, or maybe unexplored, I don't know. But for me, it's more like if I feel like, I am a very spontaneous person. And if something happens to me inside that I want to do it, I immediately mostly end up doing it. So recently when I was shooting in for Nikhil Advani's film in Jodhpur for a long time, we were there for quite some time. And then our last couple of days, we went to a fort called a little village, a small place outside Jodhpur, maybe about 2 hours, called Khejarla Fort. In Khejarla Fort, it's a very small place. So we had 3 days shoot there. And there's nothing there except that fort. It's an old fort. And people stay there. They have rooms there. They have made it into a stay place. So it's a huge, quite a big area where it's a fort. So I was just in the evening, quiet. In the evening, I was coming down the stairs, I think getting up to my room or going for the shooting at night shoot. So as I was out, I saw this interesting, place corner and it looks like unexplored because so I wanted to just I felt like singing there. So I think I sang Naina Barse, Rim Jim, fold and I shot it. So like that I, keep doing things, how spontaneous, whatever, no plans. If I feel
Those
like,
are really beautiful, ma'am.
thank you, thank you.
Okay, so can you just hum that song again for us? Naina Barse.
नैना बरसे रिम झिम रिम झिम पिया तोरे आवना दिया नैना बरसे रिम झिम नैना बरसे बरसे.
Thank you, Piloo. Now coming back to your acting career, what can we discuss about your first experience when you faced the camera? So like you.
Anand Suhani si ek ladki was television, and I remember I was nervous as usual for exams. Also, I used to be nervous. Anything when I'm going on, I'm nervous. But Suhani si ek ladki was I don't remember much of it because it was too much for me to just start off something like I have this complex which I have dealt with now, and I think I've grown up, but thoda sa reh gaya hai. I always feel that I underestimate myself, and I think that no, how did they select me, Oh, I mean, how can I get it? It's always like that. I choose to be there very much previously. So when Suhani Si Ek Ladki happened, it was more for me that, oh God, I mean, it's like this is really happening. So, okay. And then I did. When I went there, I did it. But what I remember, like after growing up with Suhani Se Ek Ladki, then I did other shows also. I did Imli, I did Gurse Mitha Ishq about 1.5 years back. So then I had become a, I had mastered that whole thing. But my experience of television is very different. It's very fast. There's no time. There is no scope of thinking what you're performing before you know that thing is over. The next sheet is given to you. Okay, next scene is this. There is no time to go in. It's very mechanical. It's a very different world. So that's why I don't have an experience of which I can carry back, maybe talk about, but because experience is within. When I was doing Guilty Minds with Shefali Bhushan, the director and writer for Amazon. So in Guilty Minds, I had this role of playing the mother of a lesbian girl who has a lesbian relationship. And, so I come in 2 episodes, episode 5 and episode 8, and both were very good scenes. I think I had 3 or 4 scenes. But out of that, I think 2 scenes were very good. And the main scene that I really remember facing the camera and doing it, and they take long time and they shoot beautifully. They have all the money and all the time, and they're very, very different way of, and the crew is brilliant, the team is brilliant, a very, very interesting crew. So Shefali was silent and she was sitting in another room with the monitor, and from the monitor there was very low key. She was giving instructions, but very soft voice. She was saying, "Okay, okay, just come in. You want to do this again? Can we do this again?" So 3 of us were there, the 2 girls and me, Chitrangada and this other girl, and she, me, and Chitrangada, 3 of us. And it was this intense confrontation scene where the mother finds out and then she confronts them, both of them.
One of them, the crucial scene in that series.
Yeah, I came back from Kolkata to Bombay and changed, that sequence I remember. I think the whole sequence she shot maybe 4 or 5 times we did, but I remember with equal intensity every time. All, not me, all of us. The 2 girls are brilliant actors. So Sugandha and Chitrangada and me, 3 of us, each time they 100% performance. That's something I remember uh, from where the journey, like I realized that, what kind of work is possible when you have. So that's when I also, I think, manifested, and actually drifted away from television, and I started getting OTT and this film work. So then I did Akeli, this, one film called Akeli, which came out. Of course, it released, but now it is coming to OTT. And amazing, I remember those moments of shooting those films, the real moments, because Akeli is also a real story of a girl escaping from Iraq, which happened in 2008. And so playing that girl's mother, and it was so real for me, so I think real things call me. So I am manifesting. I hope, I pray, I really want to do this kind of real work where, you translate or transcreate good literature into, into series or stories where there is.
So somebody has mentioned your character in Ibili also.
That was a 6-7 months I spent in Imli. But yes, it's a very different world. So I'm not saying that world is because I started from TV. So TV's, but it's a choice that I have made now. When they call me for television work now, I consciously make sure that I acknowledge them and share with them that, I have moved on to this because this is, I want to do this, not because this is not good and this is good. I feel that I want to do this, and if I am doing this, then I cannot give time to television. That's why I would not take up television projects. But it's very different. Over there is a performer, as an actor, I'm saying. People do television, very good actors. By a person called Rajendra Ji, who's playing my husband in Nikhil Advani's film Veda, he's a brilliant actor. But he's chosen television because that's a very way of survival in Bombay, because it gives you money to sustain yourself. So that way I have a choice. So I'm kind of choosing to I'm fine by myself, and so I don't have to I don't have the survival issue right now. So I'm choosing to do OTT and films.
And I think here Ananya has a question for you. Ananya?
Good afternoon, ma'am. So basically, all of your journey that you were telling in the starting, it really resonated with me because I have also been somewhat of a spontaneous person, and on a whim, I just do things. And there's been a lot of shuffling in my career also like that. So I could really understand what you were saying. And it was really amazing to know all that.
Thank
And
you.
I was really wondering that you're so talented and you're such an all-rounder, but like like any creative person, have had any moments like low moments in your journey?
Always.
And
I'll tell you, I was just listening to this song called Yesterday We Were Playing. So I have a piano next to me here. It's a little
wow.
far away. But so I was listening. I mean, I'm always on that. So don't worry about without the lows. I mean, don't get scared of lows because if
Mm,
you can, don't try to don't try to fast forward and turn the lows into immediate highs. If you can
mm,
sustain and just be with the lows without judging that low, it'll evolve and you will become, there's something that will happen. I do not have the words because I've experienced it. I love to do this. Sometimes, I think 2 days back only, yesterday or day before yesterday, I don't know. I just told myself, I need to just go to my room and my mother is here. So in front of them. So I said, the moment they retire, I'll say good night. I need to just be alone for some time and probably I need to cry because I need to let out. I don't know I'm not sad, but I need to let out stuff. There's a lot of these are things that so you need to be with the lows. And so yesterday night I was sleeping. When I went to sleep, finally, some friends were here to meet my mother. So when they went and all, we were singing as usual. Whenever we are sitting with music only. So when they left, after when I went to finally sleep, I played that song again on Alexa, and I was listening to it 2, 3 times. Uh, I I let my emotions come, and I don't judge it low, high, whether I should be. I have to. You can't be making yourself high or low. Things come.
right.
It's a passing thing. Things come and just being with it, and it's like a river, and then it just flows, and you take another. It takes you somewhere. But let that happen, because that gives you
Mm.
a lot of this originality we are talking about. The real stuff. The real stuff comes up when we allow that low to take us. So be okay with
Yes,
that and
ma'am.
enjoy that.
All these motivational speeches and all this social media narrative of pushing yourself and all that. It
Yeah.
today's generation faces that, but yeah, thank you so much,
Yeah,
ma'am.
somewhere I think that whole I have never tried to consciously get motivated by, now I'll get motivated, or I have never tried to motivate anyone. But I just like had a conversation with you now. I have real conversations, which is me. Something will come out of that, you will get something. When I listen to people, if I find real people talking I connect with them because if real people who are not having the baggage of thinking and talking, abhi main kya bolu, abhi iske, you're natural. So you're not bringing in motivation from outside. Motivation will you'll feel motivated. It'll suddenly come. But you have to be natural, real, and just be yourself and listen to a natural person talk. Like you are and I had a real conversation right now. I am not
Yes, ma'am.
thinking अभी ये क्या पूछेगी मुझे, अभी मैं इसका क्या जवाब दूंगी. What's naturally coming to me.
Thank you, Ananya. There's somebody who wants to ask the whole.
Yes, I'm Shukla Mandal from Kolkata, ma'am. Ma'am, how are
Okay.
you?
ভালো আছি. আপনি কেমন
Yes,
আছেন?
ma'am. হ্যাঁ, আমিও খুব ভালো আছি, থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম। আমি এখন নাসিকে থাকি, অ্যাকচুয়ালি
Very good.
আমি ম্যামের স্টুডেন্ট এখন, ভাল্লাত ম্যামের।
Okay.
তো
Very
আজকে
good.
আপনাকে দেখে আমার খুব ভালো লাগলো, আই এম ভেরি হ্যাপি। আপনার
Thank you.
সিরিয়াল আমি দেখি, ইউর অ্যাক্টিং
Thank
ইজ
you.
ভেরি 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 নাইস।
Thank you. Thank
और
you.
বেঙ্গলি সং ম্যাম, আই হ্যাভ এ রিকোয়েস্ট টু ইউ, দাঁড়িয়ে আছো তুমি আমার গানের ওপারে, এই গানটা যদি।
I'll definitely sing. That is my favorite, and I have a album which has that song. So if you go to Spotify, and I don't know, I'll try and send that link. I don't know because somebody's album they have posted it. The spelling is different. I'll try and send it to Anand, and if he can post it with you all, you can listen to my Tagore album there. So.
Yes.
mm, দাঁড়িয়ে আছো তুমি আমার গানের পারে আমার সুর গুলি পাই চরণ, আমি পাইনি তোমারে, দাঁড়িয়ে আছো তুমি আমার গানের পারে।
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম। ম্যাম অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত ডান্স করি, কত্থক করি, ভারতনাট্যম। তো আজকে আমি যে কি খুশি হলাম, আই এম ভেরি 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 হ্যাপি। থ্যাংক ইউ ভাল্লাত ম্যাম, কল্যাণী ম্যাম।
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a great pleasure, Shukla.
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম।
Shruti, you want to say something, Shruti?
Yeah, so I've been following, on Instagram, and the message I had sent same on
Shruti?
the Insta also. Yeah,
Yeah, that's Shruti. Go on.
yeah, correct. Okay. So I had seen this post on your Insta only, so I made sure that I'm keeping this 1 hour away and from my routine and joining this call because I never
तो
heard you
तुम
live.
रुला दोगे मुझे. Now this is the time where I start getting, my emotions come. हावी हो जाती हूँ मैं. मुझे
Uh,
this kind of love I can't handle. फिर मेरे आंसू आ जाता है.
No, no, but I mean, I wanted to listen, you online or you live always. I have been following you on Insta, but yeah, as I said, I mean, all your quotes and all your Insta quotes are always motivating, positive, and I make sure that I'm following. And this was really pleasure to, listen to you online. And it was blocked in my calendar today that I was not having your link also. I searched on Google, and then I got this link on Facebook on some other accounts, but I just thought to give a try. That's just that I joined around 2:20 or 2:25. But yeah, I mean, it's really pleasure to listen to you and see you online for sure.
Thank you, Shruti.
And I'll keep you following. And as I said, and I requested to keep following. I mean, keep sharing those all positive quotes. And I don't understand Bengali language, but then yes, I do follow all your Hindi songs and your jamming sessions with your friends and everything for sure. And I'll do keep following up for this. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Piloo, Nidhi has asked for your Instagram handle. What's your Instagram handle?
Piloo Vidyarthi.
Piloo Vidyarthi. Nidhi, you have your answer. It's Piloo Vidyarthi. You can follow Piloo on Insta also.
Simple है, Piloo Vidyarthi.
So Piloo, we'll come back to what we are discussing. You are an actor. So what excites you as an actor? Like when you are presented with a character briefing, what are the preparations that you do to get into that character?
So, like I said, if I just take examples, like Akeli, when it was narrated to me, I was in the car traveling from Lonavala to Bombay. It was my birthday last year. So, this creative producer, he was narrating this thing to me on the phone, and they had selected me. I had given some old audition, and they had selected me. Generally, we all give tests. We have to give an audition for whatever work, There is no. So, he called me and he was narrating. Again, the mother, I don't know, the mother in me, that whole real thing of a girl escaping her journey. So I was already attracted to, to seeing that, I would love to do this thing of, just going through emotion. I am a very emotional person actually. So if uh, I look for depth and emotions in a story. That even if it's two scenes, it's not about the length of the character, but is there anything real to enact, or it is just a time pass, something just like a filler. So I make it very clear in the beginning only that is it a, so then they tell me that, no, this is got. So then I say, okay, then let's hear. You narrate, let me hear. In the narration, you kind of get a picture of how. Now, what scenes they will write, we don't know. But I love this. Now, I just did a show called Clean Up Crew. It's just happening. The last Lego is happening now. So I had just 4-5 days of work. It's a thriller, again, web series on, gang, and the three boys are there, three different characters, all Bengal and Bihar side story. So I'm playing the mother of one of those boys, the one main guy, and this mother and son. Now the other two boys also have parents. So that guy, when he was narrating to me, he tell me, can you send me audition for this guy's mother who's a Bengali, but we speak in Hindi and little bit of Bangla. And the other guy, a UP Kaushal, he said, can you play that? Can you send that audition also? So I read the lines and I read the backstory also, whatever brief they gave. And I told him when I sent the audition, I said, you know what? Let me just give this guy's audition, this one mother. Let me just do this. I'm not getting that. पता नहीं अंदर से नहीं आ रहा है मुझे वो. So he was like, people love to give auditions and they would say, okay, give me this also, give me this also. I said, no, I don't want to give that. I'm not getting it connected with it somehow. But this I'm getting connected with. So I see, that as I said, that experience, my journey, my experience, if I somewhere connect a little bit with it also, that, it's an interesting journey here. This story has a journey. Then, I love to get into it because one thing is that it's a catharsis or what, I don't know. It's healing because I'm saying that I'm not acting just by learning the lines and giving a shot there. I through that performance when that boy and me are just having one scene where I have no lines there. It was a scene where he's telling his mother and mother has already found out that this boy is with the gang. Because she never knew that he's with this gang war and all this gang thing and doing this kind of work because her husband had done this kind of work and died. So she's single mother. So she never knew, but when she found out that he's doing this, she was upset, but she doesn't have lines, too much of dialogue. So she just quietens, she just keeps quiet and she lies down and she's lying down on the bed with albums, old childhood albums. I don't know, matlab, mere liye when I was in that scene, when I was lying down with albums, maybe those albums were empty or some photographs were there, some. So it was all in I was just with Mowgli and albums, and I was crying. I was crying, and that scene was so natural because it was just so natural. So for me, it's healing also. It's healing me because I'm releasing because you don't cry all the time, and it doesn't happen to you. But through that, it gives me an opportunity to relive and release stuff that happens to a mother, really. So I was lying down in the albums. Then I woke up and I just got up and then he started telling me that I'm sorry, mom, I did this and I am with them. But I'm not like my father. I will not leave you. And tears were rolling down naturally. So everybody was silent. It was so beautiful. It was just so real. So I think that gives me those real moments to relive those moments. And it gives you, something happens, you feel relieved at the end. You feel, like that.
So when you're acting, like it's like a purging, or you connect to that character in your personal
Yeah,
way, and
I
you
personally, yeah.
purge your inner emotion. Whereas music for you is a spiritual experience.
Music is spiritual, absolutely. Music, I don't know, music does something to the human, to everybody it does, people. And I also do a program. I started designing this program. During COVID times, I used to do online shows for many these organizations, NRI, this UK and all. This Leicester University. There's this Leicester University where they do this mental health program. So they were having a week of some. So they called me. They saw my online show somewhere, and they called me and they through somebody, and I did a 1.5 hour, almost 1 hour, more than an hour, 1 hour show with their university on that because I did music healing. How music can heal without any format, without any curriculum, without any nothing. I just spoke. I just spoke about and I was singing for them, so they were asking me to sing, and I had prepared some songs also. But those songs were like, like I would sing a song and just talk about it from real life. I would tell the people that you also do the same thing. Wherever you are sitting, it may be evening, night in India, it may be just sunset time in your UK. So look at the sun. Wherever you are sitting, look at the sun outside your, you windows. And just sing it yourself. You will see that you're so somewhere that getting them to I used to tell them that just don't listen to me like I'm performing and you are listeners. You travel with me with this song. You also sing in your own way. You don't have to be a singer. You sing. And then you see what happens because it helps you if you can, because it's first of all, music has poetry. Music has a way of, talking about life through poetry. It's just, and then it has the tune, then it has the, all those things. But it is, if you get into so a very interesting thing I would share here. I never, nowadays you will see people always sing with mobile in their hand. They sing like this and they sing with the mobile lyrics in front of them mostly. Or some people may have a paper. Paper to uthi gaya hai abhi. Now, 90%, I would never be able to do that because I can't sing when something is in front of my eyes and I'm reading and singing, so I can't do it. So I'll only sing the song which is inside me, which is right now. Whatever they ask me to sing, whatever is inside me, 4 lines, I sang that. But I will not sing it like a song thing. Okay, now read and sing. So I'm just not like a voice singing. My soul has to sing.
Beautiful. So you internalize the song and then you bring it down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's been a very musical journey for us. You have led us through the different music. But what I want you to sing is what I love about your singing is Panchamda songs that you connect automatically with. So, share us some of the songs before we wind up this show, this amazing session.
Okay, I'll sing a few lines of, but don't get sad. But I mean, some people, why are you sing sad songs? I said, there's no sad and happy songs. This song is a song, it's a poetry, and you make it your way, you interpret. So I have this Panchamdas first, the first music that he gave for as a music director was from a film called Chote Nawab. I'll try and sing that. ठहरा के आए दिवया बुझाए रे खिड़की पे बैठे बैठे सारी रैन जागे रे टिप टिप सुनत में तो भई रे बावरिया घर आजा घिर आई बदरा सावरिया मोरा जिया धक धक रे चमके बिजुरिया घर आजा घिर आई. This was his first music direction.
You have taken us all along with you in that song, and you have taken us along with the beautiful life, the rich experience that you have made through your career, different facets. We are thankful to you having you here in the session. Kalyani, would you like to add something to that?
Oh, yes. This was the most amazing session. Thank you so much, ma'am. You are such an endearing person. I have also followed you on Instagram.
Thank you.
I hope we'll get to see more of you. We'll
Yes,
get to hear you.
I'm always available for, collaboration work where I can contribute. There is nothing, because I don't run after fame and name. If I get it, good, but I don't die for it. And I like to, mix and mingle and create. So whenever you need anything or, you want,
we are planning some collaborations, creative collaborations with artists across India. And we do look forward to your support and your collaboration.
Sure, whichever way I can, I'm there.
We can work together in things.
Yes, always.
Thank you.
Great honor.
Thank you. My pleasure. I'm privileged also. Thank you.